Welcome to Outside Views Politics 101. Today we're taking a look at one of the most enduring and controversial regimes in modern history, the dictatorship of North Korea. North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea or DPRK, stands as one of the most secretive and isolated nations in the world. Its political system is defined by authoritarian rule with a dynastic leadership that has maintained absolute power since its establishment in 1948. And this video will explore the historical origins of North Korea's dictatorship, the role of the Kim dynasty, the mechanisms of controls used to sustain power, and the impact this regime has had on its people and the global stage. To understand North Korea's modern dictatorship, we need to start with its origins. The roots of the North Korean regime lie in the aftermath of World War II, when Korea was liberated from Japanese colonial rule in 1945. The Korean peninsula was divided along the 38th parallel, with the Soviet Union occupying the north and the United States occupying the south. In the north, the Soviets installed Kim Il-sung, a communist guerrilla leader, as the head of a provisional government. Kim Il-sung quickly consolidated power, and in 1948, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was officially established with Kim as its leader. From the outset, Kim Il-sung's regime was characterized by totalitarian control. He eliminated political rivals, established a cult of personality, and centralized all authority under his rule. By the 1950s, the Kim regime had implemented a system of governance that combined Marxist-Leninist principles with a uniquely Korean ideology known as Suche. Suche, which translates into self-reliance, became the ideological foundation of the North Korean state. It emphasized independence from foreign powers, extreme nationalism, and the centralization of power in the hands of the leader. Over time, Suche evolved into a tool of propaganda used to justify the regime's policies and maintain the Kim family's grip on power. The Korean War, which broke out in 1950, further entrenched Kim Il-sung's authority. After 3 years of brutal conflict, the war ended in a stalemate, but Kim used the devastation as a rallying cry to solidify his rule. He portrayed himself as the savior of the nation, a narrative that was reinforced by state-controlled media and education. By the time of his death in 1994, Kim Il-sung had established a dynastic dictatorship, and his son, Kim Jong-il, succeeded him, marking the first hereditary transfer of power in a communist state. Under Kim Jong-il, the regime became even more repressive. The 1990s were a particularly dark period for North Korea. The collapse of the Soviet Union led to the loss of critical economic support, plunging the country into a devastating famine. Known as the Arduous March, this famine resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of North Koreans. Despite this humanitarian catastrophe, the regime maintained its grip on power through a combination of propaganda, fear, and control over resources. Kim Jong-il expanded the cult of personality, elevating his father to a godlike status while positioning himself as the rightful heir. The regime also intensified its focus on military strength, adopting a policy known as Songun, or military first. This policy prioritized the needs of the military above all else, further militarizing the society and diverting resources away from the civilian population. When Kim Jong-il died in 2011, his youngest son, Kim Jong-un, assumed power. At the time, Kim Jong-un was seen as inexperienced and untested, leading to speculation about the regime's stability. However, Kim quickly demonstrated his ability to consolidate power, eliminating potential rivals and continuing the policies of his predecessors. Under Kim Jong-un, North Korea has accelerated its nuclear weapons program, drawing international condemnation and sanctions. Nuclear weapons are a central element of the regime's strategy for survival. They serve as a deterrent against external threats, particularly from the United States and South Korea, and as a source of national pride. Domestically, the Kim regime relies on a combination of propaganda, surveillance, and repression to maintain control. The state operates an extensive network of informants and secret police to monitor the population and suppress dissent. North Korean citizens are subject to constant indoctrination, with portraits of the Kim leaders displayed in every home and slogans praised the regime dominating public spaces. The regime also controls access to information, banning foreign media and limiting internet use to a tightly monitored intranet. Despite its isolation, North Korea's dictatorship has had a profound impact on the global stage. Its nuclear ambitions have led to tensions with the international community, resulting in a series of high-stakes negotiations and confrontations. At the same time, the humanitarian situation in North Korea remains dire. The regime's prioritization of military spending over basic needs has left much of the population in poverty, with widespread malnutrition and limited access to healthcare. Defectors who have escaped the country provide harrowing accounts of life under the regime, including stories of forced labor camps, public executions, and pervasive fear. Yet, despite its challenges, the Kim dynasty has endured for over 7 decades. And its survival is a testament to the effectiveness of its mechanisms of control, as well as the geopolitical complexities that have allowed it to persist. Understanding North Korea's dictatorship is essential for grasping the broader dynamics of authoritarianism and the challenges it poses to global stability. So thank you for joining me today as we explored the history and mechanisms of North Korea's regime. And if you found this analysis insightful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. This is Outside Views Politics 101, and I'll see you next time as we examine another critical issue in the world of politics. And the next video is already here in the end screen.